Welcome to the future. Venus, the second planet from the Sun, also known as Venus, is an interesting planet for several reasons. Name and history. The name of Venus is taken from the ancient Roman goddess of love and beauty. In the Persian language, other names such as Nahid and Bad are also used for this planet. Venus has been known since ancient times and has been culturally and religiously important in many cultures. Appearance specifications. Venus is the brightest object in the night sky after the moon, and for this reason it is also called the morning star and the evening star. Due to the thickness of its atmosphere, this planet reflects the sunlight well and therefore looks very bright. Venus is very similar to the Earth, and that is why it is called the sister of the Earth. However, the surface of Venus is much hotter and more scorching than Earth, and its atmosphere is also very toxic. Unique features. Venus rotates in the opposite direction to other planets in the solar system. This planet has no natural satellites. Venus is the only planet in the solar system that has active volcanoes. The surface of Venus is covered with flat plains, deep valleys and high mountains. To explore. Venus has been studied by space probes since the 1960s. So far, many probes have been sent to Venus, which have collected a lot of information about this planet. However, there is still much about Venus that scientists do not know. Importance. Studying Venus can help us better understand Earth and other planets in the solar system. Also, research on Venus can lead to the development of new technologies for future space exploration. Currently, human life on Venus is impossible for the following reasons. Extreme environmental conditions. Extreme heat. The surface temperature of Venus averages about 462 degrees Celsius, 864 degrees Fahrenheit, which is much hotter than the temperature necessary for human life. High atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure of Venus is about 90 times the pressure of the Earth's atmosphere, which humans cannot bear. Toxic atmosphere. The atmosphere of Venus is mainly composed of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid, which are very toxic to humans. Absence of liquid water. Liquid water is essential for human life. But on the surface of Venus, due to intense heat, water turns into steam. Intense radiation. Venus is exposed to intense radioactive radiation from the Sun, which is harmful to humans. Scientific efforts. Despite these challenges, scientists are studying ways to overcome them and make human life on Venus possible in the future. Some ideas include using advanced technologies to create protective shields against heat and radiation, developing plants and animals that can withstand the harsh conditions of Venus, and building underground habitats. Challenges ahead. However, these challenges are huge and solving them requires significant scientific and technological advances. Currently, traveling to Venus and living there is too dangerous and expensive for humans. The existence of life on Venus is a hot topic in scientific discussions. While surface conditions on Venus are absolutely uninhabitable for human life, scientists have discovered evidence of microbial life on the planet. Presence of phosphine. In 2020, scientists detected the presence of phosphine in the clouds of Venus. Phosphine is a gas that can be produced by some microorganisms in the Earth. However, phosphine can also be created through abiotic processes, so finding phosphine alone is not definitive proof of life. Venus cloud conditions. Some scientists believe that the conditions in the upper clouds of Venus, despite the high temperature, may be suitable for some acid and heat-resistant microorganisms. Volcanic activities. Volcanic activities on Venus can release molecules necessary for life in the atmosphere of this planet. However, there are many challenges to definitively prove life on Venus. Inaccessibility. The extreme conditions of Venus are very difficult to explore, and because of this, it is difficult to collect biological samples for study. Harsh conditions. Even if microbial life exists on Venus, these organisms must be resistant to very harsh conditions such as extreme heat, sulfuric acid, and intense sunlight. Currently, there is no definitive evidence for the existence of life on Venus. However, available evidence suggests that this is possible and research is ongoing. So far, no satellite has been designed and sent specifically to explore Venus. However, several spacecraft have approached Venus throughout history and collected valuable information about the planet. Venera program. This program included a number of space probes sent to Venus by the Soviet Union between 1965 and 1984. Some of the Venus probes landed in Venus' atmosphere and collected data on the temperature, pressure and composition of there. Mariner 10, this NASA space probe was launched to Mercury and Venus in 1973 and passed by Venus in 1974. Mariner 10 sent back the first images of the dark hemisphere of Venus. Pioneer Venus. This program included 2 space probes sent by NASA to Venus in 1978. One probe was placed in the orbit of Venus and the other landed in the atmosphere of this planet. Pioneer Venus collected a lot of information about the atmosphere, magnetic field and surface of Venus. Vega. This program included 2 space probes sent by the Soviet Union to Venus and Halley's Comet in 1984. The Vega probes landed in Venus' atmosphere and collected data on the temperature, pressure and composition of the planet's atmosphere. Also, they sent images of the surface of Venus back to Earth. Magellan. This space probe of NASA was sent to Venus in 1989 and was placed in the orbit of this planet for 4 years. Using radar, Magellan made a map of the surface of Venus with unprecedented detail. Express. This Japanese space probe was sent to Venus in 2004 and was placed in the orbit of this planet for 6 months. During its mission, Express collected information about the atmosphere and surface of Venus. Venus Express. This space probe of the European Space Agency was sent to Venus in 2005 and was placed in the orbit of this planet for 8 years. Venus Express gathered a lot of information about Venus' atmosphere, surface and magnetic field. Akatsuki. This space probe of the Japanese Space Agency was sent to Venus in 2010 and is currently in the orbit of this planet. Akatar is studying the clouds of Venus as well as the surface of the planet during the night. Currently, several other space missions are being planned or developed to further explore Venus. Da Vinci Plus, Deep Atmosphere Venus Investigation of Neutrals and Ions. This NASA mission will be sent to Venus in 2029 and will study the thick atmosphere of this planet. Veritas, Venus Emissivity, Radio Science, in SAR, Topography, and Spectroscopy. This NASA mission will be sent to Venus in 2031 and will use radar and other instruments to produce a high-resolution map of Venus' surface.